But we begin tonight with the United States Senate as the most dysfunctional game of baseball ever played. In baseball, you've got your home team and your away team, right? Right now in the Senate, the Democrats are the home team. They've got 60 seats. They're the majority party in the Senate. The Senate floor is sort of their home field, if you will. That, of course, makes the Republicans the away team. And the way that it works in baseball is that when you are heading into the last inning, if the home team is winning, the away team gets one more crack at it, right? One more chance to make up the deficit and try to win the game. If they can't do it in their last at-bat, sorry, game over. Everybody hit the showers. Well, for Republicans, the past week has been their final at-bat on health reform, their last chance to kill health reform and thereby win this big political game. Their only way to win is to prevent 60 Democrats from uniting to beat the Republican filibuster, preventing 60 Democrats from uniting to move forward with a vote. That's the only way they can win. So this past week was the sort of the top of the ninth inning. It was the Republicans' last at-bat, their last hope, 3 outs to stop health reform. Out one came on Wednesday when Joe Lieberman signaled that he was not going to join their filibuster.
I'm getting to that position where I can say what I wanted to say all along, that I'm ready to vote for health care reform.
Out two came on Saturday when Democrat Ben Nelson announced that he wasn't going to join the filibuster either.
But change is what's necessary in America today, and that's why I intend to vote for cloture and vote for health care reform.
So that's 2 outs. Top of the ninth. Republicans losing, but they've got one swing left. And up to the plate steps Republican Senator Tom Coburn. Unable to score by getting Nelson or Lieberman on their side, last night, Tom Coburn swung for the fences.
What the American people ought to pray is that somebody can't make the vote tonight. That's what they ought to pray.
I'm not naming any names, but one of these Democrats is really old, really sick, has been in and out of the hospital. It's really late at night. It sure would be a shame if he couldn't make it. And with that creepy at-bat, Tom Coburn and the Republicans struck out. Ailing 92-year-old Democratic Senator Robert Byrd did, in fact, make it to the vote last night. Republicans forced him to come to the Senate chamber to vote. Republicans did not come from behind to win. They failed in their last at-bat in the top of the ninth. Now, usually at this point in a baseball game, you don't bother playing the bottom half of the ninth inning. The home team is already winning. There's no point. The only thing that could possibly be achieved by playing the bottom half of the ninth inning is that the winning team might run up the score even further, or I guess somebody could get injured. There's no doubt about the outcome of this game. For all of its policy flaws, for all of the unseemly legislative horse trading that's gone into making it happen, health reform is going to pass the Senate. It is a done deal. Democrats have their 60 votes. It is a done deal. It's done. And yet, in this most dysfunctional game of baseball ever played, Republicans are demanding that the bottom of the ninth inning be played anyway. The Senate could hold a final vote on health reform right now. At the drop of a hat, it would pass 60-40. But the Senate is not doing that because Republicans are keeping on with all of the delay tactics they can muster, even though the outcome is a foregone conclusion. They know what the outcome is going to be. They're using arcane Senate rules to stretch this thing out until, at the very earliest, 7 p.m. on Christmas Eve. They are playing a game they have no chance to win. Should they continue to do that when everyone knows what the outcome is going to be? Well, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Who am I to say? But the fact is they are. During a closed-door luncheon today, Senate Republicans reportedly considered throwing in the towel, but they ultimately decided against it. Republican Senator John Cornyn telling the website Talking Points memo, quote, "We're fighting till the bitter end, till hell freezes over and we're skating on the ice." What's going on right now in the Senate? The reason today was the 22nd consecutive day the Senate has been in session is not because anything is going to change about the policy anymore. It's not because Republicans have a chance to defeat the bill in the Senate. This is purely because Republicans believe it is good politics for them to be seen doing this thing that has no point. They think it makes them look good, and they think it must make Democrats look bad. Unfortunately for Republicans, in pursuit of that, they have done stuff like delaying a vote on funding U.S. troops, Democrats are now running a national TV ad hammering that decision today. The delay tactics have also led to 92-year-old Robert Byrd getting wheeled into the Senate chamber at 1 a.m. on 2 separate occasions, even as Tom Coburn appeared to pray that Senator Byrd wouldn't be able to make it. This fight for health reform in the Senate is over. Democrats won. And rather than admitting certain defeat, Republicans are forcing the full 9th inning to be played. If they can't score any more runs, I guess maybe they're just hoping to bean a few batters or something. Hoping that someone sprains an ankle running around the bases? Anybody? Joining us now is John Stanton. He's been covering every angle of the health reform fight for Roll Call newspaper. John, your reporting's been really invaluable to us here in covering this from New York. Thanks very much for joining us to help us understand what's going on here.
Sure thing.
I know there was a meeting today among Senate Republicans where they discussed maybe throwing in the towel on this delay strategy. Can you tell us anything about what happened at that meeting?
Well, apparently the luncheon was actually just sort of called to get them together to talk about what they were going to do next over the next couple of weeks. And my understanding from some folks that were at the meeting was that several members have been feeling a lot of pressure to go home. They have families at home. Some of them have missed a lot of fundraisers because they've been in for, as you say, 22 straight days. And they do a lot of their fundraising on the weekends. And when they didn't get to go home, that's a lot of money they're not getting for the re-election campaigns. And so folks are pretty itchy to get home. And some of them took those concerns to their leader, Senator Mitch McConnell. Senator McConnell and the other leadership sort of team, though, rallied their troops, so to speak, and said, look, you know, we've sort of committed ourselves to this thing. We can't really back out of it now, and got everybody back on board on staying in until Christmas Eve.
Given that the delaying in practical terms is sort of pointless, does seem to be a foregone conclusion here, do you think they're going to be able to hang together on this all the way through Christmas Eve? Are there possibilities for defections?
You know, it's interesting. This is the first time I've ever seen it like this. I've been doing this for more than 10 years, and I've never seen it quite like this, with the two parties as at each other, but also united internally. You know, normally you get to a Saturday vote, and members are pretty quick to back out of whatever it is they're doing to force a Saturday vote. We've now had, you know, several 1 o'clock in the morning votes. They've been in session with people speaking on the floor till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning now on a regular basis. So I tend to believe that they're going to actually force this all the way through.
What's been the effect on the Democrats here? You describe both parties as being sort of internally unified, but the Republicans going scorched earth. It seems from the outside like it has unified the Democrats in ways that other things have not.
It really has. You know, there was a meeting last week at the White House where all the Senate Democrats went over to speak with President Obama about the health care issue, and you know they've been pretty divided on it. And Senator Evan Bayh, who's not known for his fiery oratory, and he's sort of a moderate senator, gave a speech apparently at this closed-door meeting where he said, "Listen, we have to come up with a deal. If we don't, the only people that are going to win are the Republicans, and you know I don't want to see this. I don't want to see the Republicans win because we can't figure out a way to make this work." And you know, coming out of that meeting, a lot of the Democrats sort of felt like that sort of summed it up for everybody and brought it home for the entire conference. And so then you saw Senator Feingold decide to vote for cloture on the defense bill, despite the fact that he's very much an anti-war senator, and Senator Nelson's deal came together very shortly after. So I do think it has unified them.
I think particularly coming from Evan Bayh, who's been very comfortable to work with Republicans on lots of things.
Yeah, and he was also one of the guys that sort of was initially hesitant to get in on the deal on the health care bill, too.
Yeah.
So
Republicans did shock a lot of people with their decision to filibuster that military funding bill last Thursday night. Do you know if that was a controversial decision among Republicans? Was there dissension among that within the Republican caucus?
There was a lot of dissension, particularly for Senator Thad Cochran from Mississippi. He's the ranking member on the Appropriations Committee. He and Senator Danny Inouye, who's the chairman, have a gentleman's agreement, basically, that they don't vote against appropriations bills. Also, getting an appropriator to vote against an appropriations bill is pretty difficult, generally speaking. But you know, Senator McConnell and his team sort of put the screws a little bit, it sounds like, on Senator Cochran, and he ultimately decided to vote with Republicans, which is what made Senator Feingold have to end up voting for cloture. So, you know, some of the other Republicans, I think at first were a little hesitant about it, but in the end, you know, they feel like they're sort of known for being the National Security Party, and they feel like they can take any kind of a hit that they may get from it.
I guess we shall see. John Stanton, reporter for Roll Call newspaper. Thanks for your time tonight. I look forward to having you back on the show. It's nice to have you here.
Sure.